You know, when this journey first began, you know it. I did not know where it was going to lead me. Another episode of A Dose of
Get a
Nicki.
dose of Nicki. If you ever feel down, you wanna be around. Get a dose of Nicki. Get a dose of Nicki. Get a dose of Nicki.
Welcome back to another episode of A Dose of Nicki. And if you are new here, I welcome you as well. And I thank you for tuning in. So today, I'm going to interrupt what we had planned to talk about because this has been heavy on me. Okay? It's a statement that has been in existence, has been repeated multiple times, years and years and years and years and years, thousands of years, okay, throughout our lives. Yet, I think it should be highlighted, and that's the virtuous woman, or a virtuous woman. And you know me, I love to explain things, okay, maybe to a fault, but I love to explain things. I find it is important to understand what is sometimes thrown around like common knowledge, that the simplest statement can be the most complex. So here we are. So I remember when this first came up to me, or that I can remember, I was a bit frustrated and I was sharing with a friend my situation that was irking me. And the person, as I'm talking, looked me dead in my eyes and said so kindly, "You are a virtuous woman." And I looked at her and she looked at me and we stared at each other for, it felt like a minute, but it probably was more like 5-10 seconds or so. But I was looking at her like, what? You know, like most people, when you're telling them something, they kind of chime in on what you're talking about. Nope, not her. She just said, "You are a virtuous woman." So, and she just went back to what she was doing. And I was left to travel through my thoughts like, what the what? But however, I knew it was a profound statement. It definitely was a profound statement. So, of course, I had to go and research it and discover where that statement came from. And I said, okay. And I just said, wait. I'm going to share this with my listeners. Now, I know there are men that listen to this podcast, and I love that. I love it. Believe me, you will not be left out. In fact, this episode is going to empower you, okay? You will know women in your life that are virtuous. You know women that are in your life that are virtuous. And if you did not know, after we finish dissecting the meaning, you will be able to identify one immediately. Okay? So I'm arming you with some good tools. Listen now. So, okay. Because this one right here, I had to get off my chest. I did. So, when that was expressed to me, I knew without truly understanding how deep it was that, or how deep that compliment ran, it should have made me stand up, put my shoulders back, and when I walked, I needed to strut, honey. But I didn't understand it then. I didn't really understand it. But now I do. See, a virtuous woman, watch out now. This might blow you away if you are not ready to embrace this meaning. See, this woman, this virtuous woman, is a beacon, a light that guides you with strength, with wisdom, and compassion. Now, we've talked about these things. We've talked about compassion, definitely. So she knows how to do the balancing act with her many roles. And she does it with grace. She does. And serves as an inspiration to others. She embodies values that uplift both her family and her community. So I'm going to pause right there. I'll let you think about that for a second and determine if you are a virtuous woman or if you know a virtuous woman. See, it's important that we recognize those virtuous women in our lives, including ourselves. It really is. And I'm going to give you key virtues of a virtuous woman. There are 5 of them. Maybe it's really 10, but I'm going to combine them. So the first one is strength and dignity. And this is talking about inner strength, how it manifests in daily life. Okay? It's something that we build, or we should be building and creating and working on every single day. Like when you get up in the morning, you're giving your thanks. You're happy that you're able to see another beautiful day. You are doing, you're reading, you're meditating, you're exercising, whatever it is, you're building inner strength. Inner strength. I'll give you an example. One time I was talking to my girlfriend, and I had been with my husband, and we'd been together for so many years, even prior to our marriage. And she turned to me and she said, "You've never cheated on him?" And without hesitating, I said, "No." And she said, "Wow." That's what she said to me. She said, "Wow." Like, it was amazing. Like, I was special. Like, I was different. And I thought about that, and I said, that's an example of inner strength, because we know if you don't build that character, you can fall victim or prey to the flesh, right? To what, things may not be going right. You may be tempted. It's the temptation that builds on it. You're building on that inner strength so that you can fight the temptation. And in this scenario, I was able to fight that. I was building my character, and I felt so confident that I did not fall prey or get weak and fall victim to infidelity. I didn't do that, and I was proud of that. I really was. And so it made me think of that. I said, that's the inner strength building that I didn't even know I was really doing. Anyway, inner strength and dignity, but I felt proud. And there's that dignity that I could say that with ease, without hesitating, without thinking. And it's not to throw shade on anybody who has a different type of situation. No, everybody's situation is different. It was my proud moment. Okay? Number 2, wisdom and kindness. Oh, yeah. And this is all about communication, how we communicate with each other, how you can share your knowledge with someone without making them feel bad, and allowing them the time to absorb what you are saying with kindness. Okay? So I'm talking to you about kindness, engulfing the wisdom that you're sharing with your friends, with your family. Don't take it for granted that they're your children. You can't talk to people any kind of way. You can't be a bully and force things down people's mouth the same way you came to that moment in time to absorb some wisdom that was shared with you. Acknowledge that that's what happens when you share wisdom with others. So be kind. Engulf it. And that's the art of balancing, the balancing act we talked about, in getting your point across in a kind way. Number 3, hard work and dedication, baby. Ooh, and that is really hard. Doing the work, keeping your work ethic in mind, and then also, that balancing work-life balance. Oh my goodness. And back in the days, we didn't have no cell phones. We didn't have the things that we have. People are not, we work remotely now, and you're able to balance your life, your family. Oh my goodness. What a beautiful thing. But think about the individuals that didn't have those luxuries, but they still balanced it. Not to discredit the ones that are able to do it today. I'm just pointing out that's an amazing thing. And I thought about it, how my mom, we were talking about how the opportunities that were presented to us based on the line of work she did, being in the industry and everything, how we afforded us the opportunity to see shows and concert, meet people that we probably would not meet on a day-to-day basis. And one of my experiences with Dinah Ross, she got the opportunity to take me to the concert. She was at Radio City Music Hall, and I was a teenager embracing the mature life, right? And Diana Ross comes through the aisle and she touched my hand, and I thought it was great. But now, as the mind that I have today as a mature woman, I look at it and it was like, wow, that was such a blessing to have this woman actually touch me while she was speaking. She was so graceful. Anyway, And I thought about how my mother did not have a cutoff time with her work. She didn't leave work 5 o'clock. Her work came home with her, and she worked through the nights. She'd work early in the morning. She worked weekends, holidays, whatever it was, so that she could prepare for her next opportunity while still balancing the act, bringing us into the folds of her work. And that was impressive. So her hard work, yeah, it paid off. Boy, did she have blood, sweat, and tears while she did it. But guess what? It was all worth it in the end. She can reflect back and say, she gave her entire family, from cousins, aunts, uncles, all of us were able to experience opportunities because of her hard work and dedication. Thank you. Number 4, compassion and generosity. Now that goes without saying. Now, compassion, we all know you are carrying the load with someone, okay? That's compassion. And of course, generosity is the time you use to spend with the individual. You could be giving them something, buying them something, gifting them with something. I don't know. Whatever it is being generous, being aware of someone needing something. What is it? And you offering it to them. That is generosity. And compassion and combined together is a virtue or virtues of a virtuous woman. And last but not least, fearing the Lord. Okay, I know. I didn't want to touch upon it, but guess what? That's what it is. Your faith and reverence of your God, and how it influences our lives. That's a virtuous life. Without it, there is none. Getting up each and every day is a blessing. You being here is a blessing. Okay? So you need to get up, and a virtuous woman knows it's an opportunity to express gratitude, to be grateful. It's the chance to continue tweaking and shaping ourselves into the best version of who we can be, improving each and every day. That we wake up, improving each and every day. This reverence of God, it leaning and depending on spiritual guidance, inspires us to improve daily, guiding our actions and our decisions. Sorry. I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm getting emotional. It reminds us to embrace growth, to nurture our character and virtues as we strive to live with purpose and integrity. So by acknowledging divine influence, we cultivate a life that reflects strength, dignity, and unwavering faith. So I'm inviting you to identify virtuous women in your own lives. That be your mother, sisters, friends, mentors. And listen, whoever they are, I want you to express gratitude. See, today people say things like, oh, she's a diva. Oh, she's a baddie. And that describes kind of like an influential woman. But for me, I'm going to say, oh, she's a virtuous woman. That's the top of my list, okay? So please, feel free to share your thoughts on what virtues inspire you and how you can embody these qualities, okay? I would love to hear from you. Drop it in the comments wherever you're listening. Please do that for me. And I want to thank you wholeheartedly for joining me today on A Dose of Nicki. And maybe we'll jump back into next week on the gardening, the metaphor of life segments. That's an interesting one. But depends on what's heavy on my heart. Okay? So I hope I don't interrupt that flow. But until next time, I want you to stay fabulous, keep growing, and be well, my friends. Be well. And if you enjoyed this episode, join us next week for another insightful conversation. And remember, if you found value in our discussion, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when a new episode drops on YouTube. Do not forget to hit that bell icon, because if you don't know when the next episode drops. At least when you hit that, you'll know. And I want you to take care, people. Take care.